We're now going to talk about inserting drum fills, and again you might want to consult the drum programming guide just so it can give you lots of different ideas. We're just going to do a basic one here just to get you started. Now, drum fills are often inserted at the change of a section in a piece, or if the drum beat might be about to change, so you want to give it some interest and mark the end of one bit of a song and moving into a new bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the drum beat. I've just changed the bass drum a bit just to make it more interesting. So this is the basis of what I'm going to use. You should have your drum beat by now. Okay, so that's the drum beat I'm going to use. I'm going to copy this so I can edit it without editing the drum beat that I've already done. I'm going to pop it there. Okay, so I held down the Alt key while I did that, but you can also use a basic Control-C, Control-V, or Apple-C, Apple-V if you're on a Mac, to copy and paste it to where you want it. I'm now going to edit this one here. I may need to move along a bit here, if it will allow me. Yep. So let's just zoom. So what you can see here is I'm just making sure that I can view the second bar. So here we go, here's the second bar here, and I can see it nice and clearly. Now, if you look in the drum guide, now delete everything in the second half of the bar, like that. So you should now have this, and let's repeat it over and over. Okay, so we've now got that clear. What we are now going to do is try and use these toms to create a basic fill. And you can, it's actually quite flexible about what you do here, but we're going to use semiquavers to create our fill like this. So I'm going to start from the top tom, and then I'm going to go lower. So I'll start here. There's one, and I'm going to do a whole beat, of the top one, and then I'm going to add 2 on the next lowest one. I'm not going to add 1 on the end, just so it has a feeling like it stops. So now if you have a listen to this, it has that feeling of it's running down into the next bit of the beat. You can change it up as much as you like. You can actually delete one, for example. You could mix it up in terms of one being lower and one being higher. Yeah. You can see that you can be a little bit creative with that, but I'm mainly using the toms there. But there's nothing to say you can't also mix in the snare drum, for example. Let's try that. Okay, you might even want to substitute that with the bass drum. We've now got our basic fill. I'm actually going to take it back to our simple tom run that we did at the beginning. Okay, but now there's one final bit that makes it feel like it really flows. So I'm going to copy and paste the first beat that we did again, and I'm going to put it after this drum fill that I've just done. Now, I'm now going to make sure that I double click on that so it shifts to the third beat. Can you see how when you double click on one of these block regions, it automatically zooms in on that bit? And what I would like to do here is put a crash symbol on the first beat of the bar of the new section. That marks the new section. Okay, so actually I'm going to play from bar 2 by looping from here, and you'll hear you have the first 2 beats of the bar that have the drum beat. You then have a 2-beat fill, and then it goes back to the original drum key, but there is a crash symbol hit at the beginning. So you can hear it's back in. Now if we take that right to the beginning, you can hear. So now we've got our basic fill. Again, in the sheet, there's quite a few different options with what you might like to do there. What we would suggest doing is if we move this along to the 4th bar, your sections will tend to be in 4 or 8 bar phrases, especially early on. So you might want to do 3 bars of the beat in total. Then in the 4th bar, it runs for 2 beats. You put the fill in, and then you carry back on with your drum beats. So let's see what this sounds like now. and so on. Okay, so now you've got your basic fill. That's the main thing we're going to cover for now. If you look in the sheet, there are actually lots of other creative ways that you can explore creating drum beats, but that will now create you a basic drum beat alongside a nice fill that will take you into the next section.